There's a subtle yet powerful shift taking place in your life right now. It may not be loud or dramatic, but it's meaningful. Feels like the pieces are finally falling into place in a way they never have before. You might not even fully understand the scope of what's coming, but deep inside, there's a quiet sense of anticipation, like something you've been unknowingly preparing for is about to begin. And none of this is by accident. This recent decision you made, perhaps one that took courage or came after deep reflection, is acting like a key, unlocking a door to a new direction. It may have seemed uncertain at first, but now you're starting to see signs that it was the right move. Your spiritual guides, those quiet forces watching over you, have been nudging you forward, helping you get to this exact moment. They want you to know you made the right choice. This isn't the end of something. It's the beginning of something beautiful. You're stepping into a life you may have once only dreamed about. Whether this next phase centers around love, your personal evolution, or a dream that's been silently growing in the background, it's clear that the universe is aligning to support it. All the setbacks and confusion you've endured weren't for nothing. You've been doing the inner work, even when it wasn't easy, and now you're standing at the threshold of something that could truly redefine your life. This is your invitation to lean into it fully. But what does more really look like for you? Have you ever paused to define what a fulfilling, joy-filled life means in your terms? Not what others expect or what you've settled for. Often, we get so caught up in simply managing our responsibilities that we forget we're allowed to want more. Not just more money or success, but deeper experiences. More meaningful connections, more inner peace, more purpose. Imagine for a moment that you had the freedom to shape this next season of life exactly how you envision it. What would you include? Would it be a relationship where you're deeply understood and loved? Would you reignite a passion that's been put on hold for too long? Or maybe it's not about doing more at all, but rather being at peace, content in knowing you're exactly where you're meant to be. The truth is, it's okay to want more. It's not selfish to hope for a life that fills your heart and soul. That desire comes from a place of deep knowing. It's your spirit recognizing that you're capable of living in alignment with your highest self. Now, with the universe beginning to open up a path, the question becomes, will you follow it? You don't need to be perfect to start. In fact, as this chapter unfolds, it's natural to feel a mix of excitement and doubt. You might question your timing or even wonder if you're truly ready. That's normal. Our minds often seek certainty, and when we don't find it, fear tries to take the wheel. We wait for the right moment, the moment we feel more confident, more stable, more prepared. But what if that perfect moment is already here? What if the timing only feels uncomfortable because it's meant to stretch you? Growth rarely comes wrapped in certainty. More often, it shows up as a leap of faith. Think back to times when you stepped into something without knowing all the answers. Maybe you were nervous. Maybe things were messy. But in the end, it shaped you in ways nothing else could have. This is one of those moments. It's calling on you to trust, not just in the guidance from above, but in yourself. You've handled uncertainty before. You've adapted, learned, and emerged stronger every time. That strength is still with you now. Your guides want you to know, these opportunities aren't random. They're a result of every small, brave choice you've made along the way. Every time you honored your truth, even when it was inconvenient or uncomfortable, you were laying a foundation. When you walked away from things that didn't align with your values, even when it hurt, you were choosing your future self. Those decisions matter more than you know. All of those moments when you stood your ground, when you said no to what didn't feel right, when you kept going even in the face of uncertainty, They've built the very path you're standing on today. And now, that path is leading you to a life that reflects who you truly are. You may soon begin to feel more in sync with your purpose than ever before. This might mean allowing yourself to receive love that feels mutual and steady. Could mean setting boundaries that allow your independence to thrive. Or maybe it's about finally stepping into a life that reflects your own vision, not one prescribed by others. Whatever it is, this chapter is yours to create. It belongs to you and only you. You don't need grand gestures to make that happen. Sometimes the most transformative changes come from small intentional acts, like speaking your truth when it's been silenced, giving yourself permission to rest without guilt, or daring to dream a little bigger than you have before. These seemingly simple decisions shape your reality more than you think. They're how you start turning possibility into presence. Of course, new beginnings are layered. Joy often walks hand in hand with fear. You might feel excitement about the future, but also a twinge of sadness for the parts of you that are fading out. That's okay. That's normal. Growth isn't just about adding new things to our lives. It's also about releasing what no longer fits. Your angels know how much you've outgrown. They see the evolution happening in you, and they understand that you might mourn what you're leaving behind. It's okay to feel both hope and grief. You can carry both. Still, they urge you to begin. Say yes to what's calling you. Don't let fear convince you that joy must wait. A rare window is opening, one where your readiness and divine timing are aligned. This is a time to walk forward with courage, even if your hands tremble. The next steps may not be crystal clear yet, but as you keep going, clarity will meet you there. Allow yourself to enter this new space with openness and faith. Let your heart guide you. You've already shown again and again that you have what it takes. You've risen through difficulty, and you've honored your path when it would have been easier to stray. Now, you get to experience what that resilience has made possible. Something is stirring in your life, quietly, steadily, almost like a whisper before a song begins. You might not have all the words for it yet, but you can feel it, can't you? That sense that you're on the verge of something meaningful. It's not just your imagination. There's a shift happening, and it's pointing you toward a moment you've been unknowingly working toward for a long time. At the heart of it is a decision you made recently. Maybe it was hard. Maybe it came after a long stretch of doubt, hesitation, or fear. But you made it. And that choice, whether it felt big or small at the time, is unlocking something powerful. Your path is clearing. Not by accident, but by divine orchestration. Every quiet nudge, every inner whisper urging you forward, has been your unseen support guiding you here. This new phase isn't random. It's the natural next step in your unfolding. Whether it touches your relationships, your personal growth, your creative passions, or something else entirely, it's something you've yearned for in the depths of your spirit. And now, it's approaching, waiting for you to say yes. So ask yourself, what do you want this next season to feel like? Not what others expect, not what tradition suggests, but what you, in your truest, most honest self, would love to experience. Would it look like being loved deeply, wholly, without conditions? Would it mean finally choosing yourself, your voice, your dream? Or maybe it's peace. The kind of peace that comes from not running anymore. From simply being where you are and knowing it's enough. Here's what you need to remember. Wanting more doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're human. It means your soul knows there's room to grow, to stretch, to bloom. And right now, you are being gently asked to allow that expansion. To step into what's possible without apology. Sure, fear might pop up. The old questions may return. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm not ready? What if the timing's off? These doubts are echoes from a past version of you, the one who had to survive, the one who had to wait for certainty. But you're not that person anymore. Perfect timing is a myth we cling to so we don't have to move. But life doesn't wait for everything to align. Most growth comes in the middle of the mess, in the imperfect, uncomfortable moments when we choose to show up anyway. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to trust that you'll find your way through. Think back. Haven't there been times where you stepped into the unknown, unsure of the outcome, and looking back it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened? That's no coincidence. That's your inner compass doing its work. And now it's calling again. Every time you chose truth over ease. Every time you honored what felt right, even when it wasn't the popular choice. Those moments added up. They've led you here. You may not have seen the path while walking it, but now that you pause and look back, can you feel it? Each step mattered. None were wasted. Now your heart is ready for deeper alignment. With love, with purpose, with your true self. Maybe this means entering a relationship that meets you where you are. Maybe it means finally letting go of old patterns, people-pleasing, overthinking, self-doubt, and choosing freedom. Or maybe it's saying yes to a life that feels more real, more joyful, more like you. You don't need to flip your world upside down to do this. Sometimes the most transformative shifts come from small, soulful choices. Saying what you've held back. Resting when your body says it's tired. Imagining a day that begins with joy instead of dread. Each choice becomes a brushstroke in the painting of your new life. And yes, beginnings can feel bittersweet. Even when we're excited, there's a quiet grief for what we're leaving behind. Versions of ourselves that got us this far. That's okay. Honor the past. Shaped you. But don't let it hold you. You're not walking away from something. You're walking towards something more aligned, more you. The energy surrounding you now is sacred. And your angels, they're not watching from a distance. They're right beside you, nudging you toward the light. They've seen the effort, the silent strength, the resilience. They know how many times you kept going when giving up seemed easier. And they're telling you, this is the time. It's yours. Step into it. Soon you'll notice moments where things just click. People, opportunities, clarity. They'll appear not because they're random, but because you're aligned. And the more you trust that alignment, the more the path will reveal itself. So breathe. Feel the truth of where you are. You've walked a long road to reach this threshold. And everything you've experienced, every lesson, every tear, every triumph, was preparing you for this moment. Here's a gentle blessing to carry with you. May your heart be filled with courage, and your steps grounded in faith. May you recognize the divine timing woven into each day. May you release the old with gratitude and embrace the new with hope. And may you never forget, you are guided, supported, and loved beyond measure. Now let these words settle inside you. Let them take root where they need to. And when you're ready, claim this next chapter as yours. Not in theory, in practice, in choice, in action. And as you do, remember, your light shines brighter when you use it to lift others too. Share kindness, speak encouragement, celebrate someone else's growth like it's your own. That's how we create waves of good energy. That's how the universe echoes our love back to us. Something important is unfolding for you. And it's not just written in the stars. It's written in the decisions you've made, the healing you've done, the courage you've shown. Your story isn't finished. And this next page, it just might be the most extraordinary one yet. Dear God, I come before you with a heart that feels the stirrings of change. There is something shifting within me. Gentle, quiet, yet undeniable. A sense that life is beginning to open in a new way. That something long hoped for is finally making its way into my reality. I thank you for guiding me through the decisions that brought me here. Even when I doubted myself, You whispered truth into my soul. You stayed close when the path was unclear, when fear clouded my steps. And now I see, each moment of faith, each small act of courage, was never wasted. Lord, I ask you now to help me trust this unfolding. Let me embrace this new chapter without fear or hesitation. Remind me that I am not selfish for wanting more. More joy, more purpose, more love, more peace. You created me for a life of depth and meaning. And it's okay to desire what you've already prepared for me. Give me the strength to move forward, even if I cannot see the full picture. Help me to step into this new beginning with grace and conviction, not waiting for the perfect moment, but trusting that this moment is enough. If doubts arise, when fear tells me I'm not ready, when my past begs me to stay small, remind me that your timing is always perfect, even when it feels uncertain. Thank you for every time I chose truth over ease. Every time I honored my values over convenience. Thank you for holding me when I let go of things that no longer fit who I was becoming. Help me now to release the old with love and receive the new with hope. Whether this season brings love, healing, purpose, or peace, may I recognize it as the gift it is. Whether it shows up in big ways or in quiet shifts, let me not overlook the divine details in every moment. Help me to speak my truth where I once stayed silent, to rest without guilt, to imagine a life that lights me up, and then walk toward it. Let me grieve what needs to be left behind, while still embracing all that is on its way to me. Father, I surrender my timeline and expectations. I choose instead to align with your wisdom, your rhythm. If there is a path being cleared for me now, let me walk it with confidence and humility. Surround me with clarity, so that I may recognize what is truly for me. And when opportunity knocks, help me to say yes. Let my courage meet your divine timing. And if I am called to uplift others along the way, let me be a vessel of light and encouragement. May my words carry peace. May my presence be a source of comfort. Let my kindness ripple out and return as blessings multiplied. Lord, I believe that what's ahead of me holds beauty I cannot yet imagine. So I open my heart wide. I plant my feet firmly. And I say, I am ready. Thank you for walking with me into this new beginning. Thank you for never letting go, even when I struggled to hold on. Trust you. I trust the journey. And I trust the version of me you are calling forth. Amen.